Hello everybody and welcome to the White Mountains. So, the initial plan for this trip was to head up on a long weekend to the Greer area with the girlfriend, hang out, enjoy some fall colors, the cooler weather, do a hike in the Baldy Wilderness area, and just enjoy some of the local eats and the local drinks, and overall just kind of having a relaxing weekend out of town. But the plans we thought we had made quickly got changed when we were having a German beer at a German place up in Greer, started chatting with some of the people that were also there visiting, and it started with a pretty small group of about 4 to 5 people, and then it slowly ticked up to about 17 people, and then after a few more beers, we got invited to dinner, and we were pretty much welcomed into the group as their impromptu grandkids for the weekend, and they invited us on their UTV ride the next day. And naturally, we were super interested. Our plans for the weekend weren't firm. It sounded like a really fun opportunity, and it was really great meeting this awesome group of people. So, the next morning, we met back up with them. They had cleared some room in one of their side-by-sides, and we set out for a day trip of riding around, enjoying the trails, and seeing what we would find along the way. The UTV adventure started with a trip north, checking out some of the many small lakes in the area near Greer, and all of these are pretty much accessed from paved roads, so pretty easy to get to, but worth it. There's lots of great views, and it's always nice to get close to some water, have that intermixed with some of the forest views, just really incredible. So we enjoyed walking around some of the lakes, taking some pictures, chatting some more, and just kind of hanging out. But the fall colors were a little bit minimal, at least in this part of Greer. From the lakes, we decided to head to the opposite side of Greer, headed west on Forest Road 87, where it quickly turned to dirt, and then we turned off onto a much tougher loop, which is really where some of the best views came from. Don't remember the name of the trail, but it's probably just some kind of forest road. There are so many that go through this area, but the views were absolutely phenomenal. The trail was rougher, which was great. There were some mud puddles. There were all kinds of different fall colors from the aspens changing, and we had really hit it almost perfect. We were kind of maybe a week out from the peak color changing season, and so beautiful to see this part of the state in a place where they truly get 4 different seasons. So aside from the views, the ride itself was a lot of fun. Got a mix of some slower going sections and some high speed sections connecting back to Forest Road 87. And it was just all around a good time. Stopping along the way to chat, take some pictures, fly the drone, and just really soak in the beautiful weather, the beautiful views, and just overall a great experience. Now coming back into Greer, we stopped off at a nice place along the river's edge because they wanted to show me the spot and they thought it'd be a great place to fly my drone, which it was. The way the river was flowing, there were beaver dams, tons of beautiful fall colors on the surrounding hills. It was just a really awesome place, and things were going really well until this happened. So the drone may have clipped some power lines and then proceeded to tumble into the river that I was just flying over, and I pretty much wrote it off as an immediate loss. This one was at least my smaller and less expensive drone, but still very embarrassing and sad. So we decided to go after it, at least recover the drone, maybe some of the footage survived, some wishful thinking like that, but it was no easy task. We had to cross the river, first of all, which was waist deep, very cold water, and there was a beaver dam which was kind of blocking some of the river, making it a little bit deeper in some areas. And by some absolute miracle, through the muddy water, I spotted the drone underneath about 1.5 feet of water, and to my amazement, it was still recording somehow, some way. So fished it out of the water, still very low expectations at this point. We were freezing cold because we were soaked, had to hike back to the UTV, see what would happen from there. So after getting into some dry and warmer clothes and letting the drone drip dry a little bit, it proceeded to go into a nice rice bath for the night and see if by some chance that it would still work. So proceeded to go to dinner with our friends for one more night, enjoyed the last night up in Greer, and then the next day as we were heading out of town, per their recommendation, we decided to take a little detour and go up to Green's Peak, which is a little bit northwest of Greer along 260, but some of the pictures that they had and some of the fall colors they said looked absolutely incredible. Now the trail itself is only about 5 miles and it's pretty much easy dirt road the entire way. Now the final portion is pretty steep. The road switchbacks up a mountain with lots of drainage gullies and whatnot. Overall, there was about 1,000-foot elevation gain from the highway to the summit of Green's Peak, but all along the way the views were just getting better and better. And it was just a fantastic drive to go see some of the fall colors. In fact, this would be great in any season, but especially in fall. Just incredible views. And you might be asking yourself, where's the Jeep? Why didn't I take the Jeep up here? Well, decided to take something that got a little bit better gas mileage, was a little bit smoother, and a little bit quieter, which the Jeep is none of those things. So we ended up with the rental for the weekend, a brand new Honda Ridgeline, which nothing fancy, comfortable ride, but we didn't really need anything with high clearance, and anything beyond this kind of trail would probably have been pushing it for this truck. But anyways, the view from the top of Green's Peak was spectacular. Now the summit of Green's Peak sits at 10,135 feet, and the view from the top is just incredible. Lots of radio and communication towers, a 360-degree panorama of the surrounding Apache Sitgroups forest, of the Greer area, Show Low area, the Springerville area. There's just so many great places to look, and the fact that there was a rainstorm rolling in at the same time with the sunlight, it was really just perfect. So a very worthwhile trip and a great way to end a really fun weekend up in the White Mountains. And as you can probably tell by the footage, the drone works. I fired it up after the rice bath, and despite being a submarine for about 10 minutes, it flew just fine, which blew me away. It ended up turning out completely different than the way we thought it would go, but it was a very worthwhile trip. We got to make some new friends, they got to show us some cool, new, beautiful places, and it's really just a testament to the White Mountains in general, and if you've never been, it is worth the trip. I did a trip through here in the summer a few years back, did a 5-day solo trip, and everything that I saw was brand new. There's just so many forest roads, trails, hiking trails to check out that there's so much adventure out there. You just have to go out and find it. So I hope you enjoyed this one today, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.